Alright, man, we back. And this time I'm answering a specific question from my boy Jackson YL6QB. He say, can you speak on what if you don't know where you want to go and the fear is taking the wrong step of change? Alright, first things first. Everything in life is uncertain. And as scary as that may seem, just as scary and empty as that may seem, it's kind of like a blessing at the same time. To know that everything is uncertain means that things can go in your favor, if that makes sense. I used to think of it as something that's like, damn, everything is uncertain. I need to be scared of change. I need to be scared to not have control. I need to control everything. I need to be over this. I need to be over that. Everything must be in my eyesight. But you can't see everything. You can focus on what's in front of you. You can kind of see what's on the side of you. And you for damn sure can't see what's behind you. So what make you think you gonna be able to control any and everything and you can't even see any and everything? You feel me? And how I kind of started to approach it in my life is that life is full of vibrations, right? So in my eyes, I feel like we all got a calling, or we all understand things that we like to do. We know what we like, we know what we don't like. You feel me? We not just out here all the time. Some people might have lost that touch. That can be easily lost and losing your childhood innocence and sort of falling into the wakes of adulthood, as you must say. But we'll always have this sort of internal feeling of what we like to do, if that makes sense, right? And when it comes to not knowing where to go, one thing I always found that worked was falling back to what I like to do as a child, finding my inner child. It all starts within, and it all starts many, many, many years ago. A lot of the times, a lot of the problems that we're facing now have nothing to do with where we are now. They kind of like products of what has happened before and has led us to the current situation. That's why we can't understand what's going on now without understanding history. It's the same thing. It floats all the way across, right? And so, kind of back to what I was saying about these vibrations and understanding the inner child. So, what I did was I kind of tried to sort out what my inner child is, who my inner child is, what it was like. You know what I'm saying? I can get that from asking my parents questions, kind of remembering stuff that I like to do. Like I used to really like WWE. So I go get back into WWE. I start watching WWE again, and it flooded me with all these memories. I played a lot of sports, so I started watching sports, playing sports games and stuff like that. It's flooded me with all these memories. You feel me? I go outside and I take a breath of fresh air, and what I noticed was the more I was doing the stuff that I liked as a kid, the more I could like smell again. It smelled like when I was a kid again. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know what it is in the brain. I'm not a doctor, or I haven't done clinical studies on this, so I can't give like the most educated answers on them. But what I do know is it helped to go back and look at what the fuck I used to like to do. Cause you look around now, you kind of like you feel lost, and you're like, man, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I don't know who I'm gonna be. Don't worry, bro. That's why we grow as humans. So we always got our own history book to look back on and say, you know what? I liked when I used to do this. Let me try this again. And that can kind of be your first step. That path may not be the path you need to go down. But if you feel lost and you feel like you got nowhere to go, or you don't know where to go at all, just try looking in your past, preferably the inner child, and taking a few steps down that path once again. Walk with your younger self and ask it questions. You feel me? It's not much we can find with this external stimuli. We can get inspired, we can find motivation, but what's gonna always keep us going is what's already within. I can only say so many words that get you up out of your bed. You can only watch so many videos and movies that make you want to do something. But deep down on the inside, I feel like we all got this burning desire to fulfill our inner child. You feel me? And let's see. Being afraid to make this change. Okay. I think one of the biggest things is like being afraid to step outside your box or lose yourself, right? Well, that can only happen under the illusion that you will lose yourself. You feel me? Like, who's to say that you're gonna lose yourself? You can't not be you. You wake up, you look in the mirror every day, so you're always gonna have this sense of self. If you feel like you lack this sense of self, then maybe you should do a bit more inner work, meditate, and talk to yourself. And just start trying stuff. The best things come from just trying. If you stand in one place, you'll never go anywhere. It's hard to move like that. You'll never be able to. To visualize this, think about potential and kinetic energy. With kinetic energy, it can move as fast as it want or as fast as it need to. You know, whatever. You know how kinetic energy works. It's going to move fast, it's going to move slow. But one thing for certain is that it's going to be in motion. Now think of potential energy. Potential energy could go fast. It could go slow. It could go high. It could go low. But one thing is for certain. That shit is not going to move. Because it's potential energy, bro. It's not going to go nowhere. So think about you and moving and where you want to go. Are you going to get anywhere being potential? Or are you going to stumble upon something by being kinetic? And I used to have this thought process that everything had to be complex. Like, life was just this real big complex thing, and I needed to have the most complex solution to these complex problems. But when I really started to like look around and kind of take notice, I realized that life was simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. You feel me? Like, no, simple as that, bro. It's simple. It's not much more to go into it on that. Let's see, man. And that kind of brings up another point. The wrong step of change part. Just think of it as building blocks. You got Legos, right? With Legos, you can make anything you want. You can be as creative as you want. You can make all the different figures you want. You can make all these different buildings, right? When it comes to change, your change is going to be the building blocks. Now, you take these building blocks, which is change. Don't forget that. You start building stuff. You start changing. Boom, 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 boom. And then you see something you don't like. The best part about Legos is you could take them apart. So, now that you know this is the wrong type of change, you can put that to the side, pick up another piece of change, put it on there, look at it, and say, wow, I like this change. And if you don't like it, shit, throw it away again and try again. You feel me? But, yeah, that just all ties into the potential and kinetic energy example I was giving. And I think that's about it on that. Is there anything else I can bring up? Thinking about my own life in terms of when it came to making decisions and how do I want to phrase this? It was kind of like, okay, growing up, it was a lot of instability in my life. Not in a way like, oh, it's so bad, I'm blaming everybody in my life for it, but that just happened to be how the dice was rolling, right? All this instability. I was constantly moving around, constantly changing, constantly doing this. Seeing different places, I guess you could say, but I was never settled in one home for really long, right? Until some period of time, and then it kind of settled down. But even then, it was still a lot of instability. And what I didn't realize is that my life was able to adjust to this instability and thrive through uncertainty. When I look back, a lot of the best decisions I ever made was made with me being uncertain. Like, yeah, it seemed like I'm certain because I'm choosing it, but like in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I have zero clue what I'm doing. I'll give you an example. When I went to high school, I could have went to this public school in Detroit, you feel me, and been with all my friends, this and that. But this choice popped up all of a sudden to go to a private school, and I was left with the decision: you gonna go left or you gonna go right? You gonna go public? You gonna go private? And I'm like, well, I don't know, but shit, I guess I could try private. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you always got the option to transfer, and if you don't, just stick it out to the end. You feel me? But you never stuck in no decision you make is ever cemented. Like, you can always pivot. You always got your pivot foot, bro. You never stuck on 2 feet. And if you travel, oh well, ref gonna call the call. You gonna turn it over and you gonna get the ball back next possession. You feel me? So don't even worry about that. Don't try to think too many steps ahead. Because if I was to do that, if I was to think as many as the steps ahead as possible, I'd still be sitting at home in Detroit right now, man. I'd still be in the crib waiting to make a decision. Because I'm waiting on my whole life to play out. And I'm comparing the future with a current situation. Really think about that. How can I be so certain that the future is going to look like this with my current mindset and thinking? I'm not sure at all. So why wouldn't I just take this little information I have right now and make my best guesstimate on what's going to be better? And once I make that decision, I got to stick with it. And when I stick with it, everything going to fall into place. You got to have faith in whatever God you believe in, whatever universe you believe in, whatever religion you believe in. That is going to guide you in the right path. Because I'm telling you this right now. It's a being above us. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. I don't even know if it's human. But it's a higher power above us that gives us these little insights into our life. If you ever had a gut feeling, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's called intuition. Like, you get this intuitive sense. Like, this is what I should do. You don't got no facts to back it up. It's just a straight up claim. This is what I should do. And then you go for it. Just think about a gut feeling that you've had and you've acted on and how it went. You feel me? And then a lot of the times the fear of change or like stepping in the wrong direction has a lot to do with the, not illusion of choice, but how complicated choice can get, right? Because if you faced with 2 choices, you say you want to go left. Say you go left. Boom, you go left. When you think about going right, you start creating this scenario like, dang, left not looking so good. If I would have went right, it would have been like this. It would have been like that. I would have been this person. I would have met that person. But how do you know? How do you know? You don't. So, be confident in the choices that you make. Understand that it's okay to pivot. And if you need direction, either look to your higher power or go back in the past and look at your inner child and see what it really wanted. Because as a child, you got this innocence. And in that innocence is like what you genuinely want. Now life has been built to feed you all this information from the left. This and that. This and that. You need to do this. You need to be that. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Because the kid version of you wasn't even listening to none of that. It didn't even listen to no adults. It was I'm a kid. I want to do what I want. Think about what you wanted to do when you wanted to do what you wanted. When it was all for you. Not even in a selfish way, but in a way that made you feel like, this is how I'm going to feel fulfilled right now. And that's all kids look for, is to feel fulfilled. And if they want to believe it's a unicorn on the 5th story of some building that don't exist, then that's what it is, because it's going to make them happy. And nobody can deter them from that. If they want to put a robe on and be a super spy, that's what they going to be. They want to put a cape on and jump off the tables, that's what they going to do. They going to be a superhero. Just think about how careless kids are. And not in a way that they don't think about others, but in a way that they don't think about being judged by others. Who's judging you when you trying to figure out what's on your path? Are you judging you? Or are you afraid of what other people going to think of you? Are you afraid of how you're going to be viewed when you get to where you're going or wherever you're going? It's okay to not have the story all the way fleshed out. It's okay to not have your goals all the way fleshed out. As long as you got an inkling of where you want to be, an inkling, whatever, of where you want to be at, you're good. You want to be a writer. Okay. What stuff do you need to take to become a writer? One, you need to write. Two, you need to know how to sketch ideas, I guess. Three, draw inspiration from the world around you and some other stuff. And then as you go on, you might figure out you don't want to be no writer. You want to be an artist, right? So you start to become an artist. And then you realize, painting and drawing ain't your thing. You want to take pictures. Now you're doing photography. But think about how much your skill set has grown. And when you finally get to wherever you're going, you're going to know how to write. You're going to know how to draw. You're going to understand colors. You're going to know how to set up photography. You're going to know how to run shoots. You're going to have all these abilities and these skills. You see, the uncertainty of life builds us to be prepared for a lot of stuff. I'm not going to say everything, but for a lot of stuff. Anybody that is certain in what's going to happen in their life is not having any fun. Because where's the excitement in that? When have you ever enjoyed a scary movie and you know what's coming next? They build the suspense. That's the suspense of life. So yeah, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel like, oh, I can't do it. But don't let that be the decision maker in what you become. Ever. Just don't, man. So that's what I got. Let me make sure I rephrase the question. Yeah, that's me speaking on if you don't know where you want to go and the fear is taking the wrong step of change. I hope I discussed that in this video. Thank you for watching, man.